Hey guys, James Wilson Taylor here for Rock Sound. It is the latest of our video calls. We've been chatting with everybody while we're all stuck at home at the minute. I'm delighted to say my guest today is the one and only Jetty Bones. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. It's a nice, a bright, sunny day in Ohio finally. So I am pleased.
Yeah, it's the little victories at this time of the year, isn't it? We just want a little bit of sunshine. That'll keep us going a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been snowed in several times in the past few weeks, and I'm just happy to be able to use my driveway finally.
There we go. It's a start. That's definitely a start. Well, we'll kick this off in the way we've kind of started all these, which is to say, of course, I hope your loved ones, you're all staying safe, staying well throughout this very, very strange 12 months we've just been having. And before we get into all the music and everything, just how has this actually been for you, this kind of time at home? Have you been managing to stay creative and keep yourself going?
Yeah, I have still been working. So I'm technically an essential worker at my job when I'm home. I work at a coffee shop, which I think was something that people really did need this year. I've been working a lot, and I think that I needed a break that I wouldn't allow myself to have had there not been a pandemic. So despite everything that's happened this year and all of the trauma that a lot of people have had to go through, I feel like I had time to focus on my mental health, which was really necessary. So, there's pros and cons and everything.
Yeah, definitely positives and negatives to the weirdness, isn't there? But hey, here's a massive positive. We are imminent, days away from the album finally dropping, which is so exciting. Congrats on that. And obviously you've been kind of steady stream of music throughout the last couple of years, little bits here and there. Now the full length's there. Tell me a little bit about when it actually started to develop as a full length record. When did you feel like, okay, we've got the right number of songs, this feels like the time to really go for it with a full length record?
I think I've had most of this record written since 2018.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's been a while. There have been a lot of songs that, either developed more or completely turned into new songs once we got to the studio. And that was the beginning of 2020, actually. So it was a bit of a process, but oldest song on the record is the last song, which was written in 2016. Some of the songs on this record were written while I was on tour. A lot of them were just the year of 2018 and some stuff that I was going through.
It's big. It's nice. It's a nice moment to be able to throw out there. I mean, you allude to it there. It does get very, very personal on this record. And, I'm all power to you for channeling that into your art. I always admire people who can do that. And it's an amazing, amazing thing. And I wonder, do you ever get nervous about sharing that part of yourself? Or does it just kind of come naturally to you, feeling like, yeah, this has to be a part of my music?
Well, for me, it does have to be a part of my music, because when I'm writing, I'm not sitting down. I'm actually in my studio right now, but I don't sit in here and think, okay, how can I make a song that is going to sell or that people will like? Or, how do I do the next big thing? When I sit down, I'm usually trying to process something that I'm dealing with emotionally. So whatever comes out with just me and my instruments and my safe space here. So then when it comes to releasing a record, the way I pick the songs, if there's a song that I think ends up being really catchy, of course, put that out there. If there's a song that I feel like touches on a topic that the fan base I have will connect to, that can make them feel less isolated, then that's what I'm going to share. And this is the first record where I'm feeling more nervous the closer it gets. Normally I'm nervous and excited. This time I've been excited. I put my excitement on pause, and now it comes out in just a few days, and I'm very nervous.
Good nervous, I would imagine. It's anticipation, isn't it? Because you must have seen, what a lovely reaction these last few singles have had as well. It's so nice to see. And, I want to talk about influences and stuff in a minute, but before we do, I've got to mention Taking Up Space, because I really, really love that song, man. I think it's such a catchy melody and really nice sort of like alternative take on country that just, you don't hear very often. It's really, really cool. Just a little bit, if you will, about how that particular track came together.
Yeah, I actually wrote that song in a hotel room on tour. So on the Matt Carrickis tour in 2018, it was us, Matt Carrickis from the band Citizen, and Jacob Sigmund. Everybody on that tour was amazing. Instant friends. Everyone was just as weird and awkward as all of us, which makes the best team on tour. So I, for some reason, was playing amazing shows, all of, sold out shows. Some nights we were running out of merch. It was amazing. And I should have felt really empowered and like I was exactly where I belonged. But instead, I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody because I was dealing with a lot of personal issues at the time that I didn't feel comfortable sharing. So that was starting to make me feel very fraudulent because I preach vulnerability so much. And now I'm seeing all of these people who support me and they have no idea what's going on in my life. So that obviously is a big theme on the record. But with that song specifically, I got my own hotel room while all the bands were hanging out and sat down and just let that out. I was staring out the window and there was actually a train going by really, really slowly. And I looked at it and was like, man, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Such an amazing moment to be able to document like that. It's so crazy. And I what I love about it as well, like I say, it's that's sort of got a bit of a country vibe in there. But this record has influences from all over the place. I want to kind of dive into those a little bit because I know you've cited so many different artists. I mean, I can even see around your little home studio there. I mean, the posters on the wall. I'm pretty sure, is that Tom DeLonge down in the back there? Can I see a little, is that a little blink thing down the back there?
Let me get my friend Tom.
What is that? Is that just a big sign?
So, in high school, it's autographed as well. He drew the mustache on himself. So Blink-182 got me into music. That's straight up the bass line in Carousel. I heard it. I wanted to start playing music. If I pick up a bass guitar, it's still the first thing that I play every time. So this is the cartoon head from the Mark, Tom, and Travis show, just with a different color hat. Somebody who was in my sister's grade in school had painted it, and they were going to college and knew I loved Blink-182, so they gave it to me. I went to one of the Angels and Airwaves Mod Life meet and greets in like 2007. And I walked in the room and Tom DeLonge sits back. He stretches like this. He goes, does anyone have anything for me to sign? And I'm holding this kind of like down at my side, like, wow, I'm a crazy person for having this here. And there's like nails in the back. And then I just swing it out to the side and I was like, do you want to sign this? And yeah, and he thought that was hilarious. And now this is one of the few items I have in my written will. It goes to my manager.
Oh, bless.
So we met on a Blink-182 fan site. So makes sense.
No way, man. So they really, I guess they really are like the primary influence then, especially if that's like one of the first bands, seemingly one of the first bands you ever got into then.
Yeah, which is funny because I'm signed to the same record label as Tom DeLonge now.
Yeah, how wild's that? That's really, really cool.
I don't know. I tweeted at him about it, but he didn't respond. So
we'll put a word in.
It means nothing.
Next time we chat to him, we'll put a word in for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very cool though that we should mention that too. Signing to Rise Records, which again, it's very, very cool to see them take on an artist like yourself, where they primarily deal with very, very heavy sounds, but it's indicative of how influenced you are, I guess, by a lot of these rock bands. Like we say, Wonder Years on the wall there and everything. I mean,
La Dispute. That's my favorite one. Sorry, the La Dispute poster.
It's very, very cool. I mean, so when did Rise become kind of an option for you? When did those kind of talks begin?
So we started talking to labels pretty early on. And when the Rise offer came across the table, my manager essentially just said, this is what we're doing. It's such a good offer that you would be really, really stupid to not take it. And not just from, like a business perspective, but the fact that I have complete creative control. They've put me in a position where they just ask that I at least consider their input. But other than that, they just want to support me and see what I want to do. So
that's great.
That, to end of 2018 was when we, were really, really talking to it was end of 2018 and then summer of 2019 was when I actually signed the contract.
That's cool. That's so great to hear you have that freedom. And, like I say, it shows on this record. It really does. There's other bits I want to mention too. The new single is Nothing. I want to specifically mention it's not dropped yet. It should be around the time of recording, really, but the music video's coming. I think it's later tonight, right?
Okay, so yes, the music video actually comes out in like a few hours.
There we go. At the time of recording, by the time people see this, you'll be able to go watch it, people.
Currently.
Absolutely. Yeah. But what I wanted to mention with that is, it's you worked on it with Real Bear Media, which I guess a lot of our audience will know because, that 21 Pilots connection that really, really kind of made their career. Talk to me about that collaborative experience.
Well, Mark is one of my best friends. They're also all from Ohio. So I've known Mark since 2011, I think. So that crew we're very familiar. Mark and I have wanted to work on something for a really long time, but our schedules are always so different. Obviously, he's always really busy. But with this song specifically, I came from the studio. He picked me up from the airport. I left my car at his house and I showed him the first takes of the record. When he listened to this song, he stopped it, started it over, and immediately started saying, this is what I see, this is what I see, this is what I see. So that's how he works. That's his creative process, which I love. And that was the song I wanted to be the big single before the record came out. So I held onto it really, really tightly. We're going to work with Mark. We're going to work with Mark. And then lo and behold, with everything going on, it did work out. So I felt like I finally got to work on art with one of my best friends, which is what I want this whole project to be about.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, what a joy to be able to do that and include your friends in that journey. That's so cool, man. I guess the obvious question is, it's something I've been asking everybody when they're bringing out new albums, because the weird thing is, without touring and all this stuff, everyone's had all this extended time at home. I've often found with artists releasing an album, oh, hello, who's this friend?
This is my cat. This is Albi. It's my albino cat. He's part of the team.
Albi the albino cat. That's amazing.
Yes. He's a rescue.
Oh,
but he saved two or whatever.
Oh, very sweet. Yeah, joining a long line of pets we've had on these video calls. It's excellent. I always love a little pet cameo. He
helps write everything on, all the new music. He's literally has his face in a microphone right now. He helps write everything, but he doesn't go on tour because somebody has to watch the house, and he has a really hard time playing instruments on account of his lack of opposable thumbs. He tries. We're thinking about getting him a piano mat he can just run around on.
Oh man, if you have a keyboard cat on tour, I'm going to be delighted. That's the dream. Someone finally did it. But well, I mean, whether it's Albi's been working on the new music or yourself, I guess that is the question. The album is coming out, but everyone seems to have been taking this time at home to try and think about what's next. Is that something you've been doing as well?
I have so much music written, so much stocked up, and I have a lot of songs that are written about the anxiety that I've been feeling about this record specifically. So I already feel like the follow-up record is heavily started. Beyond that, I don't know what is necessarily going to be next. But I'm writing all the time, every week. If I feel a serious decline in my mental health, I generally haven't been writing, which is what I use as my biggest therapeutic outlet. So a lot, but I think that I also, was struggling with that imposter syndrome, and I'm not good at connecting with people online. Having real conversations, I can do it. The merch table, great. Playing a show, I love it. Tweeting and doing live streams where I can't see anybody and I don't really know how anybody is feeling, it's hard for me to connect. So I think I just spent most of the pandemic feeling like all of my insecurities and isolating anxieties were validated. So, but it's fine. I'm doing better now.
I'm glad to hear it. But I mean, that's got to be the one thing, I suppose, that the connection is, it sounds cheesy, but the connection is the music, right? If you're channeling those feelings into the songs, people who are feeling the same way, and there are many, many out there, especially in this year, my God, they're connecting directly through your honesty. You must have seen, I guess, some of those reactions to that, which, clearly come through online.
Yeah, they do. And I think that happens more in like the DMs or whatever, sure. When people reach out and are willing to be really honest, and that it is there. There's always something more in that real life conversation, or playing a show and seeing someone crying during the set. I will track them down afterwards. I will hunt them down and be like, listen, are you okay? Are you good? I've stopped sets before and been like, are you okay? do you want to be up here? But yeah, I think the big thing is that yes, when people are being encouraging online or connecting online, that is great. And it's one of the things that has kept me going this year. I think the biggest thing that I realized, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this, I've been talking about it a lot, is that when you're at the merch table and you're having a conversation with someone, every time a show goer comes up to you and says, I really needed this, I really connected with this made me feel motivated, this made me feel less alone, people really underestimate the power behind that, because not only is, how do I word this the best way? The artist hasn't done something amazing that this fan now gets this gift. That fan who is saying that is giving the same feeling to that artist. An artist who's often a musician who has no outlet other than writing the song, you've now given them someone that they can relate to as well. So I think that's something I realized in the midst of the pandemic. I'm isolation on top of isolation, and I don't know. I'm now covered in cat fur. Do you see this?
It was inevitable. It was gonna happen. It's inevitable. Bless. But no, you're absolutely right, and it's it's a connection that I think every single musician is longing for, as are the fans, dude. And fingers crossed it comes back sooner rather than later. We're hopeful the shows will be back sooner rather than later. And in the meantime, just best of luck with this release. I really like this album, man, and I think people are going to get a lot out of it. And I think that connection, maybe you won't be able to see it face to face, but I think it will come flooding through, certainly, because it's very, very honest. There's a lot of really interesting stuff on that record, so congratulations to you on that. And in the meantime, yeah, we just hope to be able to see you in the UK when that is allowed. But take care of yourself until then, all right?
I will do my best, and hopefully we'll be overseas someday. But I think America's got to get their shit together first.
Hey, dude, so do we. So do we. Don't worry. It's a two-way street, that one. Don't you worry. In the meantime, yeah, best of luck with the release, all right? We'll chat to you soon.
Okay, thanks. Have a great day.